Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. This is the second to last Friday in July. How about that? Wow. Summer vacation for some of you. Like my kids and my family. Most of them are on summer vacation. I am here in Temecula, presenting Mom at Home to you with, oh my goodness, we have Shana Tucker today. She has performed at the Museum of Making Music, and I am so bummed that I did not get to attend this concert. I get to attend most of the concerts at the museum because I act as the front of house engineer, but this was one, I don't remember what I had going on, but we had to, I had my backup engineer, I think it was Garrett, who took care of the sound duties that day, and I am still kicking myself for not being able to see that show, because luckily we have Shana here today, and I was able to meet with her and get to talk with her and hear her music, and just it makes me regret not being able to do that show even more. So I apologize, Shana. I'm really sorry I missed that show, but I'm so glad to have you here today. And we have our very own Jillian Harrington is going to be our host for today. She's going to be interviewing Shana. We're going to talk about so many things. We're going to talk about ChamberSoul. We're going to talk about playing the cello. We're going to talk about looping the cello and songwriting, advocacy, and all those wonderful things that Shana does. So I hope you'll stick around. We have a limited time because she's at her brother's house. And there's, we have to, the bandwidth for her family there is very, very coveted. So we have to make sure we respect their time and respect your time as an audience. So we appreciate you being here today. Jillian, Shana, welcome to the show. Let's get started.
All right. Hi, thank you, Shana, for being here. I'm just going to start a little bit with our bio to let people know a little bit more about you. Shana studied cello at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and later received her degree in violoncello performance from the Conservatory of Music of Brooklyn College. Shortly after the release of her debut CD, Shine, in 2011, Cirque du Soleil called, and they invited her to come play in the show Ka in Las Vegas, where she played cello and was a vocalist. And she was there for 5 years. We were just talking about the Vegas heat in the summer. So she was there for 5 years before returning to North Carolina, and she performed this last February at the museum. It was one of my favorite shows. So thank you, Shana. I think we'll start off with a song, if that works for you.
Yeah. Let's see. So I'm going to play a little bit of a song that usually has full band, but one of the things I love the most about playing cello is that you can play, strangely enough, it's an instrument that people don't always think that is an accompaniment, or that you can just like self-accompany. Like a lot of people walking around with a guitar and then they just bust out singing, right? But how many cellists do you know that are like, let me sing you a song? Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. You got a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to prove. Maybe we can make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to lose. Y'all know what this is. See, my old man's got a problem. He lived with the bottle, that's the way it is. Said his body's too old for working. Said his body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's got to take care of him. I quit school, that's what I did. So remember when we would driving in your car, speeding so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights laid out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged, and I had a feeling I could be someone, 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 be someone.
Yeah, right. I love that song.
Oh man.
I think that song was, I saw it on YouTube, and was one of the reasons we booked you. I saw you playing it. I thought, oh gosh, I'm just in love. So that was wonderful. So thank you.
I love knowing about like the reasons why. Like sometimes when presenters are like, okay, so what do you want me? How do you want me to introduce you? And I'm like, I mean, you have my bio. Please don't read the whole thing. Please don't do that. Tell the audience why you asked me to be here. Tell them why you said you guys need to know Shana Tucker. And that always like, then I sit behind stage and I'm like this.
It was the video, and then I think you said you emailed me, and I wrote you back, and you were like, you were so excited, and it was just like this great relationship from the beginning. One of the other things that really drew me to you was that you actually trademarked your own genre, which I think is so cool, ChamberSoul. And so I'm wondering if you could share a little bit about the concept of ChamberSoul with our viewers.
Yeah. So I grew up on Long Island in Amityville, the Amityville of the horror house. I guess I'm also dating myself. Although, you know what, there's a lot of Amityville horror like remakes, so that's not that far back. But I grew up in learning how to play my instrument in public school, and that whole lane, that whole world was largely learning how to play the music that's in front of you, not how to play the instrument, right, for the sake of the instrument. But I had really awesome high school orchestra director and choral teacher, and my orchestra director was like, you need to do this chamber music series. Like, you need to learn how to play not just the cello section. Like, you need to be in an ensemble and know what the music is doing outside of the cello part. And I loved it because it was like, this is the first time that I'm hearing conversation in music, not someone saying, okay, now you go, and you go, shh. Oh, you know, there's no conductor. It's like everybody hopefully has access to the score. Everybody knows what everyone else is doing, and that like closeness. Hold on a second, my son is taking a nap right in this room, and he's about to start snoring. Sebastian, you take a nap in Solomon's room. Like, just, it's okay. Just go, because you snore, man, and you can't be snoring on my live stream.
I personal note, I'm guilty of doing that too.
BJ said he snores too.
It's okay.
Just like you
okay.
Sounded like you were getting into it. Okay, it's okay. Okay, bye. I love you. Okay, bye. Real talk, you guys. I mean, this is what this time is.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. The screen would have been like this. He snores like that. Anyway, so chamber music is the conversations, and like the way that you can take a melody and pass it along to the next person. We have so many examples of that, especially when I'm playing with my musical director, pianist, Christian Tamber. He'll play something and then I'll play the same thing and then expand it, and then, or I'll sing it back to him. And then we just like have this whole conversation. Chamber music, the part of ChamberSoul is about those conversations. And then the soul part, people are always like, well, you gonna play some Riri? Like, where's Sam Cooke? Like, where's the soul music? And I'm like, it's not about that. It's about, this is where it started, and hopefully that's where it resonates from the place of intention, the original intent, and hopefully it translates over to and resonates within you in the same place. And then I just put it together because, you know, one word, ChamberSoul, that's like cool.
I love that. It's such a neat story, and combining two different worlds into something unique and very, very Shana. And I love listening to it. I'm curious how you got to start playing the cello, why you chose the cello, what drew you to that instrument?
So I started playing violin when I was 9, and there used to be a show in Living Color where there were two critics, men on film, men on dance or whatever. And when they didn't like something, they would go, hated it. That was me in violin. I was like, it's such a strong word, but it just, this does not do anything for me. This, I was like, oh, and admittedly, seeing an instrument that I could sit down and play, I didn't realize how lazy I was in 6th grade. So I was like, ooh, I can sit down and play. That's great. But I didn't realize that I have to take this big thing with me, like on the bus, or like I was under 2 mile distance. So I had to walk with this thing like this. But I feel like in the same way that I had a choice for violin or flute in 4th grade, I had a choice to either continue on with violin or play cello. And as soon as I was like, I mean, you know, of course I was holding the bow probably like a caveman, but just being able to go, it just, where it hits, like it hits just your sternum, and like all of this resonance, this resonance in your chest. I was just like, oh. Also being able to do that as a child, that was awesome, because it has such a range. You know, we go down up here, or we can go like, you can't even, I could keep going where you can't see my hand. You know, I never play that high, but I'm just saying, like, this is such a voice, like body instrument. Physically, you have to reach around it to play. And it touches at least three different points of balance on your body. It's a very physical instrument, and it sings. I feel like it chose me. Some many days I feel like it was like, come here, girl, come try this. This is better.
That's really cool. It chose you. You were the instrument chose you. I like that. I have a quote from you that you said, "What I respond to most in music is the bass line." Yes. And I was wondering, do you find yourself utilizing the open strings to emulate the pizzicato bass lines? And maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah. The first song that I ever wrote for cello, it is primarily open strings. It was, and it's more function. I realized, like, in retrospect, it's the function of playing a fretless instrument, right? Singing at the same time, having to hear whether this is in tune and whether this is in tune and whether it's in tune together, means I don't want to have to be, you know, fingering every single note, because the success rate on that for me means either I'm going to spend the whole time in the shed practicing, which is not a bad thing, but I'm only practicing for intonation, not, you know, for anything else. So I wrote the song Shine, and it's very repetitive, right? And I wrote it like this because I wanted to be able to strum and play and sing shine and not have to worry about what my fingers are doing, but still make it interesting, right? So what we call, what I'm doing, just the repetition part, we call it Ostinato. And in this way, this would be the bass line, right? Just the G, but there's the accompaniment. Far away, past mountain and sea, shines a light. Far away, over forest and trees is a light. So that gets a little boring. So now I'm going to go to the B section. That heeds neither rain nor shine, it continues to shine for you and for me. It heeds neither rain nor shine, it continues to shine for you and for me. And so in that way, being able to use open strings and repetition allows me to get more into the story, like what the voice is saying. I can like be a lot more emotional, a lot more present with the song if I just use a bass line like this. Or there's like songs that are kind of funky that like start, like the whole premise of the song is a bass line that tells you exactly what it is, like as in it gives you the business, right? Like this song, No Get Back. right? I was like, I'm pretty sure that I started with no get back, no getting back, no get back. Another repetitious thing, you know, like it's like, listen, if you didn't hear it the first time, I'm going to say it 8 more times. But now I need a bass line to go under that. No get back, no getting back, no get back. There's no getting back. There's no get back, getting back together with me. No. All of this is like these conversations that I was talking about, you know, like this, there's no getting back together with me. No, that this is like underscore, all bold, period, point blank, don't even try it. No, right? I love the way music can just like add 8,000 different contours to the conversation. And I also love the way we can play with that bass line, because I know that PJ has a clip. I want you to show the clip now.
Ooh.
No get back. Yes.
All right.
Show the clip.
I will show the clip.
Thank
we're
you.
doing.
This
Are
is
we
no
doing?
get back.
We're doing the no get back, right?
Yeah. The
All
no
right.
get back thing.
I've got it loaded up here. Let's go ahead and play that one.
Yes.
How to say it in a way that makes sense to you. I've been trying now for days and yet I still can't get through. No. There was once a time.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes. That's one of my favorite songs to play, because the conversations, it's like, there's like what I call co-signing with the piano. Like this whole thing, I usually tell people is like an opera in one act. It's an opera about divorce. It's an opera that says, look, this ain't it. Okay, it's run its course. The bass player is the ex-husband. The cello player is the cello player. Hi. The pianist is like Thelma and Louise. That's the Thelma to my Louise, like, whatever we gonna do, girl, I got you, right? And the drummer is the co-signer for ex-husband's friend. It's like, I can help you move out, but did she cook though? Is there food? Like, there's this whole like persona that happens with the instruments to have this conversation and to bring this energy and to tell this story. So it's fun, and yeah.
You just kind of touched on a little bit when you're playing and singing at the same time. When you're at the museum, I was just in awe of how you can produce two melodic lines at the same time with the cello and your voice. So how did you learn to do that? How long did it take you to become comfortable with that? Tell us a little bit about that.
So to become comfortable, that's always a work in progress, right? Like I see immediately I'm thinking Esperanza Spalding, because she's usually doing like something super duper intricate here, and then something super duper intricate here, and then she's accompanying, then she's like, you know, she's like everybody in the whole song, it just standing in one place, you know? And I'm like, yes, girl, you do that, because I don't know if I could ever do that. But for me, it takes I started doing it out of function. Like, yeah, it was functional, because I was in a trio called Hugh when I was at Howard University, and part of the requirement, like this sort of casual requirement in the band, was that you must sing and you must play and you must write. And when we sing, we're harmonizing together. So work that muscle. I'm playing, this violin, or there's another cellist at the time, the piano. We're all singing and playing at the same time. So it is possible to do. But I think it just requires, like if I'm trying to think okay, so there's a song that I have. I think this is the first time that I tried to do this, like solo. I just picked a bass line that I knew. Again, repetition doesn't help that it's in 5, but whatever. Won't you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take 5. Stop your busy day and take some time out to see I'm alive. Just take 5. Though I'm going out of my way just so I can pass by each day. Not a single word do we say. It's a pantomime and not a play. Though I know all lies up for me, I get tingles down to my feet. When your smile comes to the screen. I haven't played this in a long time. Sends me on my way. I once had a boy, or should I say, he once had me. Like you can take a bass line through like 8,000 different songs. I was about to do Norwegian Wood, still on this bass line, which originally, if I'm not mistaken, going back in my memory bank, I was doing "Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. It's not warm when he's away." I mean, again, open strings and fifths. The cello is strung in fifths, so that makes life so much easier to do a block. I mean, a bar chord, right? So I don't know. Singing and playing at the same time, it's fun when you get to a place of achievement where you're like, oh, I can do this. But I got to practice it. I'm gonna keep it real. This is, I'm practicing it to make sure that I can play in tune and sing in tune and not distract myself with intonation issues. Yeah.
I think you've got it under control. You seem pretty good. I have a few questions if I can pop in from our listeners or viewers.
Yeah.
I have one from Brian here, wondering, can a cello support an internal pickup, or is a microphone good enough?
Yes. The short answer is yes and yes. I have, I wish I could show you. My microphone is not up here, but I have a pickup on my instrument. I just use a Realist classic pickup, and that I use in combination. Like my ideal setup is in conjunction or in combination with a condenser mic that is like a gooseneck that sits, that cradles on the strings, and I usually put it cradles the strings, and I usually put it through the bridge so that it will just it'll get both the acousticness of the cello, and it'll also get the bow sound from the strings. As such, that is my favorite cocktail, my favorite sound cocktail, because the reason why I use the pickup, which is a lot of times I will only just use the pickup. It depends on what the sound system is like. But this particular pickup, I like using it in conjunction, because then it gets the thump, it gets the finger sound, and it gets the pizzicato-ness of the cello. And also when I plug in any effects pedals, it responds better to the pickup. So you can use either or. The only reason why I don't really like messing with just a microphone is because it increases the likelihood of feedback. Mm-hmm. That's my only thing. You can get to a certain level, and if you don't have time to like be adjusting, then all of a sudden you're like, ooh, ooh. You're like, what is that? Every time I play, ooh, and it's like so awkward. Then I'd wind up playing like this. That's not fun to play like this.
And the poor sound engineer is going. He's in the back. What's going on? What's going on? So, it's
meanwhile I'm looking like this, like, hi everyone, hi. Fix it. And you can't. It's like, it's just not fair to anybody, So the pickup saves, like, it's like it solves a multitude of sin. The microphone, you can ease on into it to get the greatest cello sound, I think. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for that. That's a good question. Nice techie question. Yeah. Are there others? Is there more?
There are. I have another one from Mr. Bill here. Okay. He says, I've seen 5-string violins and 5-string double basses. Has anyone designed a 5-string cello or 6-string, etc.?
Yes, and yes. I'm so happy I could say yes to all of this. So I actually have a 5-string electric cello. NS Design is the maker, Ned Steinberger, and he's got 5-string cellos. He's got 6-string cellos. My 5-string is strung like cello, acoustic traditional cello is C, G, D, A. My cello adds an E string, so it has the same strings as cello and violins, adding a violin E string. You can also get it strung to have a low F, which for me, I was just like, my muscle memory doesn't understand how the lowest note is not C, right? For there to be more, I was just like, I love playing bass lines, but this don't make sense to me. So, and then the 6-string has the low F and the high E on it too. There's also acoustic, let's see, there's a couple of makers. Zeta has a beautiful 5-string option. So I just can't justify it. I don't need another cello, but the electronics and the pickup on that cello is so beautiful. Andrew Glasser makes acoustic, he makes carbon fiber cellos, makes a 5-string as well. So, and the reason why I know all of this is because I demo cellos for a company called Electric Violin Shop. And so that's my job to like know where all of the things are. So if you want to see what they are, go to electricviolinshop.com.
Cool. Yeah. Nice shout out there. I'm going to shift a little bit. Yesterday, you and I were talking about soundscaping and body stories. And I was like, wow, this is the whole world I'm not part of. Choreographed music for dancers. And I think it's really interesting. You could share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I am finding myself doing a lot more work as of late with dancers and with choreographers. And interestingly enough, my career, my professional, as in I'm getting paid to do this ? Started like, yeah, period, or exclamation point, you are, right? Started with dance. I was co-commissioned with my friend Marie Tree Garrett to write 2 pieces for the Washington Ballet in Washington, D.C. And that just never left me, that the love of being able to watch the body move and tell a story, sometimes often in silence, right? And then to translate that story into something on cello, like sometimes it sounds like this. Sometimes it sounds like and you can make all these like really cool sound effects. Sometimes I wish let's see, maybe if I stand up a little, you can know, because I need it to be taller. I wish you could see, if I try to adjust my screen, I promise you that it's going to fall on the floor. So we're just not going to, but I'm taking this is the frog of the bow, and I have just enough rosin on here to get a nice good grip on the string so that this never sounds pretty, right? But on the lowest strings, if that was the drone, and just imagine somebody like walking across the stage and just like, and then I press my loop station so that goes, and then they might do a movement that's kind of like that. So I'll go. So you have all of these ways that you can, that does not sound pretty. Cello is, not always pretty. Sometimes you take the bow and you, sometimes I will like to get like this resonance and just, I know some people are like, what are you doing? You're going to damage it. I'm like, this is a very sturdy instrument. But the whole point is to be able to take, I'm trying to envision with body stories, the object is to dance your story. Instead of telling it with your words or writing it down, your body tells a memory and shares a memory. And I was working with two choreographers, Tommy Noonan and Muriel Elizion. They're here in North Carolina. And they asked me to translate on my cello. And so like, if I'm sitting, I'm gonna do a quick body story for you now. I'm just gonna see, like, usually I have my loop station, but it's okay. It's a thing to say. It's like, it's commentary, it's like, it's another language. This is the only space in time where I feel like music really does speak a language for me that I can't say here. And it doesn't happen when I'm writing. When I sit down to write, I'm like, okay, I'm going to write a thing. This is for a podcast intro and outro. Okay. And I'm like, how does it feel? And I go through this whole like mind thing of like, what's the energy and what are they going to say? And how long does it have to be? And like, this is just stream of consciousness. I did something very similar after I read an article about Elijah McClain. And I kept hearing and seeing on social media this beautiful smile and this beautiful, just this, you could tell in every single picture, in every single caricature, cartoon, or just every single iteration of this young man's face. There was so much joy. And then I see a violin in the corner up here. I see a guitar and I see animals and I see, plants or flowers. And I'm like, I know what happened. And it sounds to me like it was unjustified, but let me read more. And then I read what he was saying in his last breaths of life. And I just had to say something. So that's one of the clips that BJ, if you would run that.
We do have that.
Requiem for Elijah McClain. Body story.
Here we go. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. That's all just transformative, basically. I mean, taking the cello from where it traditionally lives, and then just creating this massive, just emotional soundscape out of it. That's amazing. That's just epic. Wow.
I first saw that on your Instagram when you put it out there, and I just like burst into tears. It was just so moving and lovely. And I've seen you use social media a lot in the last few months to navigate all these complex issues. And how has music helped you, and how can it help others during these challenging times?
Music is different for me now. What I mean by that is, before shut down and stay at home and quarantine, before my whole performance life just was like, we're not doing that anymore for now. My music used to be very professional. Like I make music for my next show. I make music for, for a thing. It's like a service, not so much an artistic expression, not so much what it is now for me, which is the intentionality is different. I think that's probably the best way to say it. I didn't I'm laughing because like, you want to admit that in public. Okay, let's do it. Why not? We're in a safe space. I oftentimes have been scared. The word is scared. Like, I'm scared to play cello in public a lot. Like, as recently as February, when I saw you. Yeah, when I was there in person, like that tour, like anytime I have to show up, it's not that singing is easy for me. It just is a thing that comes a lot more naturally. And playing cello requires work. You got to put the hours in to know where the same notes are here that they are here. And I have this self-perception that you're a professional. You should be able to play in solo and get down, like with everybody whenever they're like, hey, let's play. And you're like, yeah. You like that? Here, insert the word, insert the song. You play, play Chicoreas, play Spain. Okay.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I'm sure if I know da 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 do ba da da, but to me, this is what I see in my mind's eye. What key? I don't know. You have a capo for cello? No, like, it's just so now I sit down and I just press live. If I want to play cello, I'm just going to play cello. It doesn't, like, I realize how much perfection was ingrained in my past as it relates to cello. I don't understand what the difference is, but when I just don't even think about what I'm playing and I just like hear and see and feel the music, then it brings me joy. And when I can get to that joyful place, then I can use it a lot more to communicate and to share that joy and to say the things that I want to say about, the Confederate statue that came down in Raleigh a couple of weeks ago now, or Requiem for Elijah, or how about, justice for Breonna Taylor, what that's coming. Like, I know I can feel it coming. Mm-hmm. I just want that particular piece. I just want to honor Breonna Taylor in a way that is like, that's I don't even realize, like, it's funny because I'm not even planning how it's going to sound. I just know it's going to do, and it's going to be here and maybe a little bit of here, but if it's here, it's to support this. Breonna Taylor is absolutely cello all day. So, did I answer your question?
You did. Thank you.
Well, I mean, there's just, I mean, being able to channel that, being able to passage that, because I see what you're saying, because I mean, the folks that get classically trained, like on piano or on violin or on, trumpet, I mean, you have to play every note right, or otherwise it's not music, right? But I mean, to be able to go beyond that, and then every emotion that you're experiencing, everything that is impacting the world around you, how to take that and to be a conduit for that, for you use your instrument as a conduit for that, and communicate that to others, for yourself, for in your community, that's a transcendent thing, because some of us, as musicians, we're stuck here. We're stuck trying to interpret the notes, and we don't know how to emote the music. We don't know how to transform the frustration or the joy or the sadness into that instrument that we're learning, or that trumpet line. So that what you just said just had real impact on me. I'm so grateful to be able to, I'm a drummer, so we don't have to think about, am I going to sound okay? I mean, yeah, that's different, but yeah, I mean, it makes me realize how.
Oh, that's why so many drummers sound. I'm just playing. We don't have to think about sounding good. We just,
yeah, right. No. Not, I mean, I'm kind of paraphrasing all that, but
I know. I'm just playing
it just kind of impacted me on the way. I'm like, yeah, it's such a really amazing thing to be able to take that feeling, the essence of what you're experiencing and what others could be experiencing around you, because you feed off the audience, you feed off everything that's going on around you, and just to transform that into something that hopefully everyone, I mean, it can be personal, or it can be something that is attached to everyone around you and reaches further than you, or further than the instrument. That hit me really hard, how you said that just now. So I appreciate that.
Is BJ gonna cry yet? That's the case. BJ gonna cry yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
By the end of the show, he'd probably cry.
Yeah, right.
You'd be like, I was thinking while you were talking, BJ, about my journey as a young cellist, and I remember the third suite, Bach's third suite, the prelude, right? It starts out with just a descending C major scale. These are the notes. That's the whole thing, right? And then it starts to develop. So it's very etude-esque, right? But I'm thinking, what if, I don't know if I would have been able to do this as a child, but I spent so much of my early training being told how to play it, not by like this. No, that's not right. No, listen to this. More like this. More like this. No. Is that's a lot of no's. And so when I go into an audition, I'd be tense. I would be, and so instead of sounding like I wish somebody would have told me that. Just imagine in that moment, I was imagining, I'm really dating myself now. In that moment, I was imagining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that whole pinball journey where it's just this beautiful, hubba bubba, creamy the animation, the roller coaster. That's to me, if somebody had told me that that's what Bach was, then maybe I wouldn't be like, oh no, I'm not classical, don't call me that, I'm not that. If somebody told me that playing the third suite, prelude to the third suite like that was okay, because the notes are the notes, right? And if you play the notes and if your articulation, if your intonation, and if your intention is there, can we start there? Then we won't have so many people that are like this. When I'm working with kids, Jillian, this will like segue into our teaching artist. But I'm like, okay, you guys, you know a G minor scale, right? And they're like, yeah. Okay, so do you know pentatonic scale, right? We're gonna just like keep on bringing it down, right? So you know these notes. All right, so let's just like pick some notes and then just like, you know, mix them up a little bit and add some space, also known as rests. As soon as I say do that, I'm like 5, 6, 7, they're like you know, and I'm just like, you guys, you know these notes, you just did all this. Why are you acting like you don't know the notes? Play what you know, and then like give yourself permission to like play what you feel. No one ever told me to do that. If somebody said just play how you feel and we'll figure out how to hone that, instead of no, that's not right, no, that's not right. I'm telling you, I probably would be in a different space. I'd be I don't know, somewhere else. The Beyonce of cello. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'll be quiet now. What's the next question?
That's a really good segue to the story that, you know, you're such a wonderful performer, but you're also a really passionate and patient educator. I remember when you left your performance at the museum, you were taking a red eye so you could get back in time to start a residency the next morning to work with children all week. And, so I saw a story on your Instagram about this young man at Southeast Raleigh Elementary School coming storming into the gym, and I like screenshot. It was like late at night, and I screenshot it. I thought this was such a cool story. So if you could share that, I would love that.
Yeah. So I was doing a residency at this school. Southeast Raleigh Elementary School it's a new school within Wake County's district, newish, and there is something so special about. There are many things that are special about the school, but in particular, we were there doing a Pinecone residency, and we had just finished taking a tour of the school, and the way that it's laid out, and there's like a garden on the roof, and there's like a kitchen where they bring the food down, they harvest the food, and they learn how to make like healthy, wholesome, taste good too food. Oh my gosh. The library is full. I've never seen a library like this in my life, where all the books that are on display, the books, like if everything is black and brown. There's kids, and not just Black history, you know, books, or, you know, there are books about Serena Williams and Meghan Markle, and like the whole school is about representation. You know, if you see yourself, when I'm there, I'm on stage, if a child sees me and it's like, I never even looked at cello before, like you don't know what people resonates with people until I can see myself. I didn't see myself until like being Black woman playing cello until I was in college. And this was before the internet, so I couldn't even just be like, let me Google Black woman with cello, you know. But this little boy, I'm mentioning all this, I say this to say, the school holds space for outbursts and frustration, and has found a very intentional and productive way to manage it. One of the ways is that this child came into, we were in the, how do you call it, gymnatorium, you know, like stage gym. Maybe there's a cafeteria if you open the door. I don't know. It's like a multi-purpose room.
Multi-purpose, yeah.
Yeah, and he comes in, he's like kind of kicks the door in, and he's looking around for something, and he was looking for a basketball so that he could shoot hoops until he you know, calmed down. And the resource teacher came in after him. She was looking for the ball, but in the meantime, he's pacing, and he's, you know, you could tell he's like agitated. So I was like, hey, do you want to play my cello, maybe? And he thought about it. And then he just kind of walked over to the stage. And I was like, all right, put your hand here, put it on the shoulder, and then put your hand like this, and then put it right here on the fingerboard, and then just pick any string. And so he's like kind of touching them. And then this used to freak me out when they'd be like, and they like get their thumb finger under and be like with this face. And I was like,
oh no.
So I just kind of like, just relax. It'll, and he's like, these are just open to me. They're just open strings, right? This hand is not involved at all except to hold the cello up. But again, when you feel that resonance and you are making this beautiful sound.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like seeing a child experience the joy of a C string, or just plucking and feeling, and then they do all this stuff, and then they're like, and then let me use the bow, and then they're like, I'm doing all this, I'm just like, maybe that was all they needed. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to recruit more cellists. I don't believe that that's my job, but I am here to make sure that if the cello is a source of joy, can be a source of joy for anybody, this big, all, this young, all the way up to this old, then let me be that conduit. So, yeah.
I think you said in your post, you said, I hear some players that they would never let children touch their instruments. Mm-hmm. I say trust and care and respect can be taught in many ways. By establishing simple care boundaries as you're sharing the beauty of the instrument, you're teaching more than just about the instrument. You're planting the seeds of humanity.
Yep.
So poetic and what a wonderful moment. And who knows how that one moment can change someone's life.
That's right. You never know. You never know. And music has that power. Like, we don't, I don't think I make my audiences sing. I don't make them sing. I just introduce opportunities for them to do it. And then when I say, and they don't, then I'm like, and then, the music keeps going. And I'm like, okay, let's keep it real. Y'all, the lights are not on. I'm not going to ask them to bring the lights up. We're not putting you on full blast, okay? But I need you to sing with me, because that's how it's going to go. And you're going to feel better. Trust me. Singing always makes people feel better, even when you think you can't sing. Because that's like the best dispelling. It's like when people are like, oh, I can't. And you're like, don't sing and can't sing. Two different things. And then they're like, time after time. I'm like, you've been singing this whole song the whole time, right? I don't know if this is, it doesn't matter. I would think I was going to say this till the end, but time after time, Cyndi Lauper's, right? I grew up in the 80s. So everything to me was like MTV. You see, I started with Fast Car, right? I could sing, more than a feeling, okay, sorry. I won't do it. All right, anyway. But I love 80s music. And as soon as people realize that this is what the song is, usually by, I don't know, some people, if it's their song, lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you, caught up in circles, confusion is nothing new, flashback to warm nights almost left behind, a suitcase of memories, time after. And in that moment, people are like, time, like if they're singing along, I'm like, not yet. Yeah. Sometimes, so then I'll go along. But when I ask them, like, y'all know you've been singing this whole time. Like, I want you to sing with me. You're not offending me. You're actually making me so happy. So they're like, if you're lost, you can look and you will find me, sing time after time. And they're like, oh, and then we go back and forth and I'm like, how about some harmonies? Right. And the audience does it.
And they know it,
They know it and we do it and it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know why I started talking about that. Sorry.
No, our question from Carolyn, who's also the director of the museum and a fellow cellist. She is, yes. And she had two questions. One, do you give online lessons? And then two, is the hair on your bow pink, or is that just a strange reflection?
Because she loves it. She loves the pink reflection.
Yes. So I don't give lessons online because my time is like one of the things I realized about teaching. In order to be an effective teacher, there has to be consistency. And my schedule before was like I was always gone on tour, and now I'm like, I don't. What's today? It feels like Saturday, but I know it's not. It's Friday, right? I don't know what time it is. I can't see. So no, I don't. But if you want to, let's connect further, okay, fellow cello. Let's connect further because I have some resources. That's answer number one. And number two is my bow is actually, I don't know if you can see it. It goes from like, now there's a lot of rosin on it, but it used to be like this beautiful mulberry color, and then it goes up to like fuchsia-y kind of, and then it goes into like purple. Yes, this is called, I think it's called like Very Berry, and Triangle Strings. I don't know if it's a .com. I think it's just Google Triangle Strings. They restring your bow. I mean, rehair your bow like this. I also have one called Zen, like Zentastic or something like that. And it goes from like forest green to like this beautiful bamboo green to like this beautiful seafoam green. It's the best. It makes you play better. It makes me play better. It's like unicorn hair, you know? Yeah, it's great.
A little spunk to your...
And it matches like surprisingly these I would never consider pink to be neutral, but like maybe, I mean, my hair is, I got some red action going, it kind of matches. And so it's just fun. It's like putting on your favorite lipstick or your favorite nail polish. It's like,
coordinate your bow with your outfit. I like it.
Well, and it's a beautiful compliment to like the nice wood and honey tones of the cello anyway. So it's like, wow, they just go hand in hand. So that's cool.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly like that. Compliments the honey tone notes. And
Shana, you've accomplished so much in your career. You're grant recipient, resident artist, educator, mom, which I don't know how your son is still sleeping. Is he still sleeping right now?
He probably is, but not here. Because I told you he was like, so no. He's somewhere, not here.
And you get the impression you never stop moving. So what's next? What's next on your plate?
So immediately following this, Shana's going to take a nap because the drive, the drive from, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the drive to Atlanta is like, it's at least 6 hours because you got to stop, you got to get gas. And I was driving with two teenagers. I'm hungry. Like this drive has been a thing like forever. And so, you know, before they were two little boys and now they're two teenagers. They're just like, the only thing that changes is we go from kids meals to, I want a number 1 large. I want a number 3, you know, so we got to stop. But I'm going to take a nap. And then tomorrow is my first live performance, live public performance since that day, since that March 14th post with the little boy. So we're going to be at Elm Street Cultural Arts Village here. It's in Woodstock, Georgia, which is about 30 minutes out of Atlanta. And then we're making plans for still, in the midst of COVID, still making plans for album number 2, because bear with me with my corniness, okay? Because my CD, Shine. So this CD, right, which is a hot commodity because, you know, I don't know, do people still actually play CDs, or they just buy them for merch? Like what happens?
I think it's there's still music fans out there. I don't think that's ever going to change. So they need it. They need it.
They're still doing
any
it.
format that we can give them. That's what they do.
Well,
where can they buy that CD?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Here's where you too can have your own copy. Okay. No, ShanaTucker.com. You can, like, your entire life can exist at ShanaTucker.com. But you can, no, there's no but. I'm pretty sure that's where I don't know where else you would get them, but on my website. But the reason why I'm kind of being funny, but the reason why I bring this up is because the original, like the one that I was selling out of my trunk, was released in February of 2011. And then this version was picked up by a label, the Jazz Urbane, in 2015, but it's largely, it's essentially the same collection of songs with a couple more added. But February 2021 marks 10 whole years since my first CD. And so I feel like it is in the best interest of the world to come out with album number 2 in 2021. So we're working on that. Yeah, and the songs are coming. I'm very excited about this project because it sounds like me still, but like, 10 years ago, I was a mom, but I was a mom of a young child, and now I'm in my 40s and my life is different, and life is different. And so it's just going to sound like me, but different, like as we all evolve, this just sounds realistic.
Yeah.
I know, I can't wait for that to come out. So hopefully then we can be performing again and you can come play again at the museum.
Yes, please.
See you in person. And, but this has been really fun, and thank you for your time. I know you're busy, and I just really appreciate you as a musician and as a human, and I'm thankful to know you. So thank you for being here today.
This hug is for you. Socially distant hug.
I promise, when you come back to the Museum of Making Music, I will be the sound engineer. I'm not gonna book anything else for that evening because I'm still kicking myself for that. So
I'm holding you to it.
Right
Just
on.
telling you. Okay.
All right.
This is fun.
Shana Tucker, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Our audience today, you guys were wonderful. Great questions. I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody's question, but I think we got to a good number of them, and then there was just so much to talk about. We couldn't get everybody questioned, and so we kind of had to make a call on which ones we could throw in there and what stories, that we had to make room for all your stories because those were the best. Yes, and I told Shana this like yesterday. Is like every episode I've ended up like I always tear up at one point, and you did it. You got me there. So I appreciate you, Shana. I appreciate your music. I appreciate everything you're doing. And just thanks for being with us today. Our audience, thank you guys for being here today. And it looks like there's folks in the chat saying they can't wait for your new album. So everybody's looking forward to it. We're all looking forward to that. Until then, let's see, man, what do we have coming up on the horizon? Next week, we have Allison Brown, banjo artist, and with Compass Records. She's going to be joining us, talking about banjo, her life in banjo. And then we also have another special guest interviewer, San Diego's very own George Varga, music writer, and just a long time, voice in music in San Diego. And he's basically been a good friend of the museum too, and he's an acquaintance of Allison's. So we thought it was really appropriate that they would be together on the next Mom at Home, July 31st. Wow, I can't believe it's going to be the end of July already. Following that, then we now have another banjo Mom at Home. Following that, on August 7th is Jamie Deering. She's the new CEO of Deering Banjo, along with her parents, founders of Deering Banjo, Greg and Janet Deering. So they're going to be talking about kind of the maker side of it. So you get a double dose of banjos, which is kind of wild, from the artist side next week, and then 2 weeks from then from the manufacturer side. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of what the Museum of Making Music's all about. We talk about the folks that make instruments, the folks that play the instruments, and how we are affected by the music that they make. So until then, and I would be remiss to also say that our next virtual concert is coming up August 7th as well, with the amazing Michael Kennedy, renowned San Diego bassist, super amazing person, great friend of the museum. He's put together a quartet, And we're going to be coming from to you live from the Museum of Making Music. I will be the sound engineer for that because I got nothing going on right now, so it's good. Until then, check out the museumofmakingmusic.org for all of that, how to get tickets to the live virtual concert, and then all of our upcoming episodes. Until then, everyone, thank you for joining us. Have a great day and take care.
Thanks,